Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I want to revisit a classic. This is the MJX Bugs 3. If you've been in the hobby for a while, you are certainly familiar with this drone. Brushless drone, runs on a 2S LiPo battery, very sporty and fast. You can carry an action camera, and really quick. It's fully stabilized, of course, but there's no altitude hold, no fancy features. It has a bright white LED here in the front. But what I want to do today is I want to see what kind of video can we get making a real budget 4K at 60 frames per second budget drone, because I'm going to put the ThiEye 4K at 60 frames per second. You can see their action cam on here. Now this is a budget camera, around $100, at a touch screen. It's quite nice for the price, but it doesn't shoot remarkably good video. The 4K at 60 is not that great, but it's okay. It shoots it in an MJPEG format, which I think it looks okay. You know, I don't think that was the extension, but it is a different encoding that it uses. So that's how they're able to do that on a lower end camera. But it it doesn't have any image stabilization at that high resolution with that high a frame rate. I think it could do it at 4K at 30. So there'll be no EIS or no electronic image stabilization if we do 4K at 60. Now we could drop it down to 1080p at 60, and we can do the EIS at that. But the EIS on this camera is not, it's okay. Again, for the price, it's not great. There are better ones. The camera I'm filming this with on my head, the Firefly 8S, has much better EIS than this, but it can only do 4K at 30. It can't do 4K at 60 like this ThiEye. The Bugs 3, this varies. 70, 80 bucks, like at Banggood, I think it was around upper 70s. You can sometimes find these for 50. Just they're everywhere. Force One sells a version of it. This one is a Drocon, Amazon sellers rebranded blue version, but it's still just the MJX Bugs 3. So on the high end, you're probably looking at, $160, $70 if you pay the most for these two accessories, these two components. But you could get this sometimes for, the camera we figure is gonna be $100, but maybe the 150 range, you could do this together, and that's certainly going to be cheaper than any GPS drone you can buy with a 4K at 60 frames per second camera. The cheapest I know for the 60 frames per second at 4K is a Xeno 2, and I think that's at least $400. But again, this is going to be budget. You could take some screenshots of the 4K video and get a pretty good photo out of that. And that might be something to think of, but it's not going to be stabilized. It's going to rock. Now, if you had a really good action camera on here, like the Osmo Action or one of the high-end GoPros that can do image stabilization at 4K at 60, it's going to look pretty darn good. But do you want to strap that expensive an action camera on a drone that costs, way less than the it costs way less than the camera? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit blabbing, and we'll get the action camera up in here and go ahead and just lock it. So pull it down. It's a bit of a tight fit here, guys. Oh, if I can get it there. Well, it's really a tight fit on me. I've not had this action camera in here, so maybe I'll have to work with it. What I'll do, guys, let me work with this, and then I'll be right back, because I'm having a little trouble getting the camera snapped in there. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got it in there, and I already have it recording. When I press this button on the top, I have trouble getting it to record. It should be lined up, but it's just causing the menus to come up. It is a very tight fit. You really got to press on this case, but as you can see, you can get the ThiEye in here. That rubberized case it comes with just really makes it a tight fit. So I've got it in there. It's recording now at 4K at 60 frames per second. So let's go ahead and press in the battery here. I've got it fired up now. Let's go ahead and set the Bugs 3 on the ground here. Get the controller turned on. And let's move it out here a little bit. I gotta try to see if I can remember the controls on the Bugs 3 here. All right, let's go ahead. I think you have to do the unlock button. Just gonna give it throttle. You guys can see it's sporty. This is just a great flyer. So we're getting some 4K at 60. Now the more gentle I fly, the better the video is going to look. When I get it full pitch, it's going to really tilt forward. Let's land it here. What I want to do is let's lock the motors. Let's tilt the camera on the ThiEye up a little bit. Tilting it up a little bit is going to help it hold the horizon a little more when you're flying forward. It's still going to tilt down. I could tilt it up more, but boy, when I'm not going full forward, I'm going to be filming up towards the sky. So let's go ahead now. Let's see again what kind of video we can get with the Bugs 3 filming on a budget 4K at 60 camera. Yeah, we're really, as you can see, really going forward. It's a sporty little flyer. So now to get some camera footage there, I'll bring it back towards me. You really want to just do some gentle flying. So just give it a little bit of pitch like that. Fly it slow. I just want to show you guys again how sporty this guy is, but should be looking towards us here. Now this thing, I believe this thing will do flips. I don't want to do that with the camera on there. It's going to be kind of sloppy probably anyway at that. I'm trying to see if that's the, I think that's the flip button. Let's see what, one of those could be headless mode. I can't remember the controls. It's been so long. I haven't flown this in probably a year. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to see what that does. That could be the flip button. Pretty sure she's got 2 rates. I'm just trying to cycle through here and see what those are. I think that's the highest rate there. And that's the lowest rate. Let's bring it down here. The left one here by the unlock button. So let's see. This is, yeah, see how the yaw went? See the yaw slower there, guys? There's the, and let's go, see how it sped up? So I think the lowest rate is going to be better for filming because you're going to be less inclined to give it, you know, spin around really quick, and it'll be a little less sporty. So let's just ease it forward here and let's see, just doing some slow flying, what kind of video we can get. I'm just trying to keep the pitch the same, not rock the drone. Now it's going to rock some there as I gave it roll. That's what you want to do, is just try to go in a straight line. Don't give it too much inputs. Don't give it drastic ones. That'll help reduce the rocking in the video. I know on this drone, to do those flips, you have to hold the button down while you give it the direction you want it to flip. That's why I wasn't worried when I was testing the buttons out that it might just flip on me. I'm just trying to remember which one was the rates button. But the screen's still on there. I think I had the screen set to stay on this. So when I was filming, I'd have to keep on waking it up when I used it on my gimbal. But that's of course going to use a lot more battery. And these batteries and these action cameras don't, these budget ones at least, don't last real long. So ideally I would have that screen go to sleep. That white LED is so useful on this drone because your orientation is going to be something that's going to be easy to get mixed up with as you fly farther away. Boy, you turn this around, you locate that white LED, and then you don't have to worry about knowing it. Like right now, a noob, someone starting out wouldn't know which way that drone's facing. But as I turn it, look, white light, I know I can push forward and bring it back. Let's try that again, guys. If I fly that thing out and I've lost the blue and the white kind of on the arms, I'm not going to know which way that's facing. Do I give it forward? Do I give it back? Well, let's just give it yaw input, spin it around. There we go, white light. Press forward, let's fly it back. That's how you do it, guys. On the Bugs 3, you just locate that LED. If I didn't have the LED out there, I would be getting nervous already, because I'd have to do some tricks and try to determine in my mind which way the drone, so does the drone look like it's getting smaller or larger, which means going away from me or coming towards me. Bugs 3 had a really good flight time too. I know it was well over 10 minutes. Now it's not going to be as much carrying that action camera. That will reduce your flight time by probably 5 minutes. Yeah, I love this drone. And you get it back out and then you realize, wow, this thing's awesome. You forget. And with the altitude hold, you got to have some flight experience. This is not a drone for a beginner, because you got to constantly be giving it throttle and trying to level it out. You can't just let go of the left stick and then it's going to hold its altitude like many of the newer drones do that. Makes it easier to fly, no doubt about it, but you don't learn really how to fly as well. It's best to learn on something like this, and then you can go to altitude hold and get lazy, but then at that point you also get rusty. And flying a drone like this, I can even tell. Let's take it up high here and do a yaw around with the camera going, and then we'll end this video, guys. And you guys can make a judgment for yourself. What do you think on this? You know, it's not stabilized, and it's not going to hold its position here as I yaw. I have to kind of do it because I got some breeze. So it's hard to yaw very much, you see, guys, because it's getting blown by the wind. Taking up a drone and yawing around in a circle and getting a panoramic like that's easy to do on a GPS drone, but it's not easy to do on a drone like this that does not hold its position. We'll see. How does this do? I mean, I expect the video is going to look decent. I don't think the Bugs 3 on this bracket has a ton of jello, so it ought to be pretty good there. It's just not going to be stabilized, and of course, it also depends on the quality of the camera. And the ThiEye camera here is just so-so. For the price, you can't get an action camera with a touch screen that I know of that's, you know, offers what features that this does at this price. And do make sure you have a really fast memory card when you're doing 4K at 60. It uses a very high bit rate, but it's not great, the video quality on this, in my opinion, but for the price it is certainly acceptable. So this would be what I consider my budget brushless 4K at 60 setup for someone who's on a shoestring budget. Maybe a kid just getting, you know, a teenager getting into the hobby that wants to rig something up and do some stuff yourself. It's certainly probably be a way to go, but without seeing this video yet, I can't say. You guys can make a determination whether this would interest you or not. So I'll put a link to the Bugs 3 on Banggood if you guys are interested. I made a link to it on Amazon as well. It could even be cheaper at Amazon. And I'll link to this action camera, which I know is available at Banggood. And if you're interested in checking this out, because it's got 1080p, 2.7K, 1080p at 120 frames per second, all the way up to 4K at 60. Just be mindful the EIS, or electronic image stabilization, does not work on all the higher resolution, at least not the higher resolutions with high frame rates. I think at 60 frames you have to go down to 1080p to get that to be able to work. And I got to go ahead and end this and get this shut off, because I don't think I can get it to stop recording. See, I press that, now it's turned off the audio. It's turning off, it's muting the audio. All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Hope you like this little budget idea here on the Bugs 3 with 4K at 60 frames per second ThiEye action camera. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you know when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.